The Texas legislature created Camp County from the northern part of Upshur County in 1874, and voters chose Pittsburg as their county seat. The county built its first courthouse in 1881 as Pittsburg grew. The two-story brick edifice came too small for the county's needs, and in 1928, commissioners hired the Paris, Texas architectural firm of Smith and Prager to design a new house of justice. Contractors Winsell and Wood received a contract for the construction, which was completed in December 1928. The Classical Revival Courts building features a steeped parapet, flat arch windows, and Corinthian columns. Today, the courthouse remains a central part of life in Camp County. This is the side of Camp County Courthouse right here in Pittsburg. Let's go. P9 back with another vlog, and I'm in this small railroad town located in Camp County, Texas, called Pittsburg. We're about to walk around Pittsburg, Texas without the H and get some footage and get some vibes of this really small railroad town. So let's get into it. Now, Pittsburg, Texas is the county seat of Camp County, located at the junction of US Highway 271 and Texas State Highway 11. And there are the railroad tracks, which at one point in time junctioned and served the St. Louis Southwestern Railways. So there goes the railroad track, railroad crossing. Northeast Texas Ice Company also operated out that building. There goes the Northeast Texas Ice Company. And Pittsburg, Texas is located about 36 miles southwest of Texarkana, one of the largest cities in this part of the state. Now, within a 18-mile radius, Pittsburg does have a lot of lakes. So this is the lake country part of Texas. A lot of lakes that surround it, so ideal for people to go fishing. And the cattle and the Cherokee Indians once resided in this area in the late 17 to early 1800s. But they mostly abandoned the area once the settlers started arriving from Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama in the late 1830s. As you can see, Purple Heart's Home Health. Has a for rent sign right there, so vacant spot. Got a Duff's Classic Cuts barbershop across the street. And you have this Salt Company, TM Salon and Spa. Okay, so they have some kind of economic activity going on in the small town of Pittsburg. And once again, this is the seat of Camp County. Main Street Healthcare, right over there. So the railroad depot is over that way, but we'll come back to that in a minute. I want to continue down Main Street for now. First things first, you have the jeweler, Laura DeWoody Jewelers. It's an antique shop right here. All occasions, antiques, riffs, and crafts. You know, every small town has an antique shop. Best believe it. And check this out. They got the Aunt Jemima syrup bottle right there. That's definitely an antique. They got antique oven, antique log cabin syrup bottle. Wow, that's a super throwback. My mom would love that. My mom loved that log cabin Aunt Jemima syrup. Aunt Jemima be hitting though, for real. I just hate that they changed the name to Pearl Milling Company. Like, come on, man, bring back Aunt Jemima. That was crazy. But anyway, Jack's Antiques and Ephemera soap. It's a soap shop. Sell essentials, natural body oils. Okay. Parker Drug Store and Bridal Registry. So, some small town services and the drugstore history as it pertains to this area. Sam Lockett and John Reynolds established Lockett and Reynolds in 1890. Now the partnership between those two lasted until 1835 when Roy B. Lockett inherited the store and brought his son Ingram Buster Lockett into the business. Lockett's. Buster Lockett sold his interest in the store in 1951 to Percy Williams, who had worked there since 1926. And in 1960, Roy B. Lockett retired, and he and Percy sold their interest to Jesse and Gerald Palmore. And in 1963, Jesse bought the building next door that Pittsburg National Bank previously occupied. So they since remodeled those and combined those buildings, and the businesses were sold to Gary and Joe Ann Foster in 1978. And it remained Palmore Drugstore until 1982 when it changed to Foster's Drug. And as you can see right here, it's Parker Drugstore and Registry. Not only do they sell prescriptions and everything like that, like a typical pharmacy, they also sell some, some cutlery, cookware, plates and stuff like that. Now, Pittsburg was named in honor of the family of William Harrison Pitts, who arrived from Warren County, Georgia, the year before in 1854. So that's how Pittsburg got its name. So you had a lot of settlers who came from, again, Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama into this area. And Pittsburg was formed that way around the railway. So this is known as the Pittsburg Commercial Historic District, which has 32 acres and listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 2013. So there's a high concentration of economic, commercial, and architectural development in this downtown area. And as you can see right here, this is the W.L. Garrett building, which was constructed in the 1890s. This building began as a one-store commercial structure. W.L. Garrett bought this property in 1902 for his mercantile business and added a second story in 1923. In addition to the Garrett store, the building also housed other retail businesses and a medical offices over the years. A landmark structure in Pittsburgh, the Garrett building is simple in design, featuring an inset entry and a corbelled brick cornice. And you can see the cornice right here. Has the W.L. Garrett and Son still implanted into the to the ground, but the store front is all but abandoned. But it operated as a mercantile business. I hear a little Maroon 5 on the speakers. Like Sunday morning, and I never want to leave. Life gets hard. Life gets so hard to do. Drink Coca-Cola. Delicious and refreshing. Coca-Cola. Now this was restored by Graham and Graham, Jack, ECV, and Jeanette in 2014. This Coca-Cola mural. You're going to see a Coca-Cola or a Dr. Pepper mural guaranteed in every small town, especially the Dr. Pepper in Texas. You're going to see it in like pretty much every small town in Texas. Factory Connection. So they have a clothing store called the Factory Connection. They have a back to school sale. Kids just recently went back to school. 50% off sale. All right, shout out to the Factory Connection. It's a shoe shop right here as well. Now, a lot of these businesses are getting ready to close because it's almost 5 o'clock in the evening. A lot of these businesses downtown here in Pittsburgh close at 5 that I've been noticing. Some of the restaurants might stay open a little later. As you can see, we have Scoops Chicken Salad and Market. Okay, they got a soup market, sell sandwiches, chicken salads. Main Street Gym, okay, so where you can get your fitness on, right downtown Pittsburgh. Work off some of that that good old Texas barbecue. Burn that off. Salvation Army store right here. Look at this art by Aisha F. Aisha painted this painting of Miss Roper, apparently an elderly lady, and they said, "Are you Miss Roper?" Oh, this is dope. Again, that's the Salvation Army store. Stansel's cleaning and laundry business right here. We have a vacant storefront that's available for rent. Anybody who's interested in setting up shop here in the small town of Pittsburgh. You have the Pittsburgh Insurance Agency. So yeah, in case those that are interested in setting up shop in the small railroad town. Farmers Insurance. This for sure looks like this used to be occupied by a post office. It has that design of a post office. And they have a modern day post office is actually down that way. It's in that building right there in the center. Camp County Land Abstract and Title Company. Goes to Pittsburgh, Texas Water Tower. All right, I see. Now this is called the Pilgrim Plaza. It's a nice little park. Looks like it's a modern landscape park. And you guys know I love those modern park spaces in these small towns. You have this nice little garden, the water flowing. It's really nice, all the rocks that surround it. Very serene and peaceful. And it looks like even a small town of Pittsburgh, Texas has a little bit of a hustle and bustle. So, you know, you can kind of get away and get some form of tranquility over here. Town could be a little busy because the county courthouse is located here. But yeah, I like how these rocks are structured, how they're arranged, and the water just flows right off of them. Yeah. It's the corner of Jefferson Street and Lafayette Street. So technically, so really what I just walked down was really Jefferson Street as opposed to Main Street. I just assume every like major drag through the downtown is going to be a main street, especially in a small town. But no, it's called Jefferson Street, what I just walked down. This is a nicely designed structure. You have the wooden pieces up here. You have the cream colored bricks. Very nicely done landscape park. Again, called Pilgrim Plaza. Wow, look at this. I wonder if this is like a church building. Yeah, this looks like Christ, possibly. It's supposed to be. Yeah, I'm not sure what this is right here. It's a really interesting sculpture. It's like a homie right here getting his feet washed. I really do need to brush up on my biblical characters. Let me see. Okay, so this is called The Divine Servant. It's by artist Max Greiner Jr. And this depicts Jesus washing Peter's feet. So I was right. This is supposed to be a depiction of Jesus Christ, and he's washing Peter's feet. Peter, one of the disciples, if I'm not mistaken, one of the disciples of Christ. So again, that sculpture made out of bronze. It's by Max Greiner Jr. or Greiner. And this is called, not sure what this sculpture is called, but I know it's located at Witness Park, dedicated in April 1991. So I'm guessing it's supposed to be a religious part for Christians, depicting for you the four scenes of Jesus' life in the windows: his birth, the Good Shepherd, his crucifixion, and he is risen. And here's the Bible scripture that links to the four scenes. In this birth, it was Luke 2:11. In the Good Shepherd, it was John 10:11. The crucifixion, it was Luke 23:33. And he is risen, his resurrection, Matthew 28:6. Jesus watching Peter's feet in our West Garden as the divine servant. And this is in John 13:6-9. And in the East Garden, Jesus answered, everyone who drinks the water I give him will never thirst. And this is John 4:13-14. So the architects of this park, Witness Park, Louis B. Gomer and Pat Dismukes, and the builders Mark S. McKinney and owner Pat and Bo Pilgrim. So hence the name, the Pilgrim Park, Patty and Bo Pilgrim. So shout out to Mark McKinney, Pat Dismukes, Louis Gomer, and Patty and Bo Pilgrim for their efforts in this building this park. This is very interesting. This is very unique. I've never seen anything like this in all of my travels thus far. So you have this like church building, if you will. And you also have this reflecting pool, this rectangular reflecting pool that sits outside. So supposed to be for a divinity from the Most High God. Yeah, very, very nice. Goes to Pittsburg Intermediate School over there. Technology Center across the street. Let me go over here. Looks like they have something else over here. Oop, ran into that flag by accident. So They have a lot of modern structures here in Pittsburgh. Looks really cool. You have this circular garden, if you will, a circular arrangement of plants anyway. And this is a sculpture of the namesakes of the Pilgrim Park. And there's also Pilgrim Bank right over here, by the way. But these individuals, this sculpture, this is Lonnie Bow, and this is Patty Pilgrim right here. So this is, again, Bo Pilgrim, Patty Pilgrim. Nice, really nice sculpture of the Pilgrims sitting on that bench. And Michael Boyette was a sculptor. It was dedicated July 30th, 2015. And this is in honor of Lonnie Bow and Patty Pilgrim by Ken and Donna Pilgrim, Greta Gale and William Simpson, and Lonnie J and Kara Pilgrim. So the Pilgrim family must be a big deal right here in Pittsburgh, Texas. It's really nicely designed sculpture by Mr. Michael Boyette. Shouts out to Mr. Boyette. Now this is the Pittsburgh and Camp County building, erected in 1927, architected by Chaz Chappell and contracted by Lee Dalty. It's an old historic building here in Camp County. And also, not to mention, they have speaking of the Pilgrims, they have a feed mill that they operate here. I don't know if you guys can see it, it's in the distance, but that's the Pilgrims feed mill. They actually provide jobs, so they basically provide for the economic structure locally here in Pittsburgh. You also have this Yantis Insurance building since 1946, it says. Pittsburgh Title Company, Brad Strotman. There you have it, Pittsburgh Title Company. And over here you have the Camp County EMS services. We'll walk over here to the county courthouse for Camp County. Now the Camp County Courthouse was constructed in 1928, and it has its unique architectural style of Texas Renaissance as well as classical revival. As you can see, this is the first time I've seen a county courthouse like this in this type of architectural style. It looks pretty unique, but nice nevertheless. Have the American flags drenched on it. America 250, of course. And this is the courthouse lawn. We'll walk around. They have some they actually have some benches right here, so you can actually come chill on the courthouse lawn. A few benches. Have some lights wrapped around the tree trunk. Some pretty trees. Flags right here. And this is a massive wall of honor for the U.S. vets that originated from Pittsburgh, Texas, that served in the multiple branches of the military. U.S. Vets Wall of Honor, so many of them. Wow, it's a lot. Every time you come to these cities and towns and you see that they have a veterans memorial and you see all these, it just makes you realize how massive these wars were and how big the military was for the U.S. I mean, they said there's strength in numbers. I mean, it was a lot of people that served in the military. And this is just one county alone, bro. You imagine all the others that served across the country. And you also have this wreath right here that's made out of twigs. It's really nicely designed. American flag, roses, dedicated to the everlasting memory of those men and women of Camp County who made the supreme sacrifice in World War I and II, Korea and Vietnam, for the freedom of all men throughout the world. And here's the names from each conflict. Y'all, so many of them. It's impossible for me to get all of them, especially those bricks on that wall of honor. But nevertheless, man, salute to every one of those individuals. Another Presbyterian church. Pretty nice Presbyterian church building. Reverend John Coleman. Hideaway Tattoo Parlor. Okay. Off the beaten path a little bit, but there's the tattoo parlor right there, and it's a courthouse annex building. The 76 and 276 Judicial District, Community Supervision and Corrections. All right, how about that? Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. So really nice. I saw something similar to this in Texarkana, where they had on the sidewalk, on this little sidewalk ledge, they had these tiles to make these mosaics. You can see mankind right here. You have the dove symbolizing peace, humanity, truth. So go more doves right there, symbolizing peace and love. As you can see, the hand shaking. No matter what race, you can all come together. And these are basically just uttering the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I have a dream, and we cannot walk alone. In the praying hands. Very good message. I had to come over here and capture this essence of Pittsburg, Texas. Well, they don't miss a beat when it comes to these murals. This is a mural dedicated to the Camp County EMS, which was established in 1979. And here are the founders right here. Yeah, Bob Banks, Wilma Coldsnow, Don Reynolds, Larry McCaslin, D.H. Abernathy, and W. David Abernathy. And you have some individuals right there around the ambulance, EMTs to be exact. And this is a very, it could be a very stressful job, but it's, you know, very much appreciated by a lot of people. These are the first responders. And it says, you are worthy of all praise for you to sustain the lives of your people. Thank you for those who have called us paramedics to give emergency services to the people who are injured. Bless every paramedic on duty and give them wisdom to discharge their duties with speed and accuracy. May your Holy Spirit quicken their minds to think of what to do when attending to a patient. Give them the wisdom to provide the right emergency solution that a patient needs in any given moment. Fill them with an excellent spirit that will see them go above and beyond the call of duty to save lives. Free each paramedic from the fear of the unknown and let them trust that you are present to guide them every step of the way. Remind them to say a prayer as they endeavor to save each life and to declare your word of healing. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Very powerful that they did this, inscribed this mural, or inscribed this prayer on the mural, because these EMTs and any first respondent for that matter definitely needs that. You definitely need prayer. And this is a mural of Dr. Blair Macbeth, medical director from 1992 to 2023. And this is who we get credit to, www.joshuamadewellart.com. So shout out to Joshua for this really nice mural with this very powerful prayer attached to it. Very nice, very nice. Pittsburgh, as you see, very much God-fearing individuals. Apparently, you can feel that spirit in the community. It goes to First Methodist Church over there. It's a pretty nice building, First Methodist Church. Go back down, head on back down to Jefferson Street, Jefferson and Quitman Street. Check out this mural. Yet another Dr. Pepper for life, good for life mural at 10, 2, and at 10, 2, and 4, at 10, 2 at fountains, and 4 and in bottles. Okay, so 5 cents. There was 5 cents a pop back then. Wow, 5 cents for a Dr. Pepper. Drink a bite to eat. It goes the logo, gentleman with a top hat with a Dr. Pepper bottle in his hand. Says join the club. Really nice mural that downtown Pittsburgh. So this is actually, at this intersection is where Jefferson Street continues this way and Quitman Street functions this direction, but they both function as State Highway 11 here in Texas, and Pittman, Texas. Interesting that they have a Pittman and they have a Quitman, Texas. Pittman and Quitman. Mabin's Jewelry. Okay, so I have a jewelry shop, lifestyle and apparel shop. Madeline's Cafe. Oh wow. They have this caution tape. They have this cautioned off. An abandoned lot. A bunch of bricks and debris, but as you can see, the remnants of this side mural, what was the Holman and Hall hardware, furniture, buggies and wagons, Smoke Blackwell's genuine Durham tobacco trademark. Okay, so this advertising Durham tobacco, and it's a hardware store that sold furniture and buggies back in the day. Interesting. Rick's Antique Center. So another antique shop. And this is the Holman building, built in 1893 by J.M. Holman and L.R. Hall, occupied until 1925 by the Hardware Holman and Furniture Company. This firm had also sold wagons, harnesses, had a funeral parlor on the mezzanine, and later sold automobiles. The rope pull elevator is considered the oldest in Texas still in use. Wow, a rope pull elevator. Man, they were busy. This building served that many functions. Funeral parlor, a wagon dealer. Jeez. But yep, the Holman building. And that's a good look at the Holman building right there. And this is the alley. Wrought iron arch right here with the American flag, the mini flags. So they have a little alley right here. Main Street Healthcare. Okay, we saw that earlier. So the moment has finally come for us to come to the railroad park. See the railroad depot and everything like that. This is a bench though dedicated to Emma Sue McGee. Generous love. And this is Pendergrass Park. Site donated to the loving citizens of Pittsburgh by Robert K. Pendergrass and Mary Smith Pendergrass in Thanksgiving for the exemplary lives of our parents, Leroy Pendergrass, Helena Lazinski Pendergrass, Henry Smith, and Jules Tate Smith. So are they in any relation to Teddy Pendergrass? I knew some of y'all probably saw me coming with that one. The late great Teddy P. But yeah, this is a marker in recognition of Mayor David H. Abernathy. He served 42 years as mayor and is past president of the Chamber of Commerce, East Texas Council of Government, and East Texas Gulf Highway Association. So Mayor David H. Abernathy wore many hats, that's for sure, in his time serving for the state of Texas. He also served as chairman of the Chamber of Commerce Highway Committee Director. So this dude wore many hats, but shout out to Mayor David H. Abernathy. Pilgrim's Pride 50th anniversary. So marker commemorating their milestone achievement. So Pittsburgh got many awards. This is the Governor's Community Achievement Award, signed by H.B. Clements Jr., sponsored by Keep Texas Beautiful Inc. So yeah, got this gazebo right here, and it's another historical marker from the Texas Historical Commission, just basically giving you a rundown of Pittsburgh. And its Anglo settlement of this area began in the 1850s. As I pointed out earlier, W.H. Pitts, his family arrived from Georgia in 1854 and soon were joined by more settlers from the southern United States. And Pitts donated land, which is now the town site, which was named in his honor in 1874. And when Camp County was created from Upshur County, Pittsburgh became county seat. And 2 railroad lines were built through the area by 1880, and in 1891 the citizens voted to incorporate their town. So Pittsburgh continues to serve as a transportation, business, marketing, and cultural center for the county. So, you know, very much interesting stuff here. You know, Pittsburgh, okay, they got a Pittsburgh Hot Link spot over there. So serves burgers and fries. Pittsburgh Hot Links. But let's continue. And there goes the Pilgrim's feed mill. I know you guys can see it now. We saw it from the distance earlier, so we was walking through downtown. And here we go. This is the historic Pittsburgh Railroad Depot, which now functions as the Northeast Texas Rural Heritage Museum. This looks like one of those weather vanes that sits right in front of the railroad depot. And it was at this railroad depot where there was a shootout. A domestic dispute involving George Dallas Smart, wife Annie, and U.S. Army Lieutenant John W. Hurd resulted in a public confrontation here on February 10, 1885, as Hurd planned to leave town. And in an ensuing struggle fueled by a crowd, Hurd shot and killed Dallas Smart. And the next day, Hurd appeared before County Judge M.N. Brooks, who determined it was self-defense and ordered him released. A question of legal authority caused the state attorney general to rule the trial as proper, given the judge's role as magistrate. Hurd later defended himself in a court-martial and a subsequent trial on the incident and went on to a distinguished military career. Annie Smart ruled and died in the New Mexico Territory, 1900. And yeah, so that's crazy. Shootout right here at the Pittsburg Depot. So yeah, Andy Smart could basically apparently got acquitted on self-defense. And Cotton Belt Depot, the narrow gauge Texas and St. Louis Cotton Belt Railroad, arrived here in Pittsburgh in 1880. I mentioned that earlier as well. So this is the second depot that was built on this site, and it was completed in 1901 and served the railroad until 1968, although passenger service ended in 1956, due in large part to the emergence of automobiles. John M. Holman awarded the Museum Service Award. And of course, this is the front of the museum, Northeast Texas Rural Heritage Museum. They have this time capsule, history of the 20th century in Northeast Texas, dedicated January 2000 to be opened in January 2100. Wow. That's what, 74 years from now? And here goes the caboose for the Kansas City Southern Lines, 380. Saw something like this similar in Winsboro. Northeast Texas Rural Heritage Museum. So again, this railroad was very vital, given Texas's agricultural history when it came to shipping cotton and other goods. And let's check this out. Electricity is a modern necessity of life and ought to be found in every village, every home, and every farm in every part of the U.S. That's a quote by Frederick D. Roosevelt. Shout out to FDR. Some utility workers working on a telephone pole. Shout out to the blue collar workers and the electricians. And wow, this is a timeline of the UREC. Pretty sure that's like a railroad electrical like a union or something of that nature. UREC history. So this is the Rural Electrification Administration, which was created by executive order in 1935, with Congress allocating funds for rural electric cooperatives. And in 1936, the Upshur County agent applies to the Rural Electrification Administration. So this is just a timeline of the UREC. They were awarded grants to build transmission lines to basically, power the electrical power the electric railroads. So yeah, these utility workers are very important. Now, the present day UREC, with over 36,000 members, is a leading provider of reliable, affordable electricity to rural East Texas. So shout out to UREC for their service that they provided in the past, in the present, in the future. The Upshur Rural Electric Cooperative. So that's what it stands for. I missed that earlier. Serving East Texas since 1937. And these are all the counties in East Texas that they serve: Morris, Cass, Camp, Marion, Wood, Upshur, Smith, Harrison, Gregg, and Russ. Wow. So a lot of counties that they serve. But shout out for their services. And that brings me to the conclusion of this vlog right here in historic Pittsburg, Texas. I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to watch this vlog. And if you made it this far, make sure you hit the like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell. And once you tap the bell, make sure you select all. That way you get notified every time I drop a new vlog. With that in mind, good people, thanks again for tuning in. See you guys on the next one. Peace.